Welcome to our podcast, Becoming Relentless. I am your host, Elenoa McCabe, IFBB Bikini Pro and Team Mahaley coach. And I am joined by the lovely, beautiful co-host here,
Danielle Kusenberger. I am a Team Mahaley coach and a posing coach on Team Mahaley, but we are ready to get y'all going into this podcast. We're super excited. We are also joined by Cecily Wesh.
Oh, you're going to introduce me. That's cool. Cecily Wesh here, also Team Mahaley coach, and we're fired up to get this started with y'all.
Dude, we are hype. We can't wait. We've been downing coffee all morning.
Yeah, we have. Dutch Bros.
Oh, yes. Dutch Bros is the best. Y'all know. If you know, you know.
If you haven't
Especially
been,
for
you
the
have to go.
macros.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They're insane, but they're getting us warmed up for y'all. And we're excited to get y'all going here and just hope that y'all learn so much from us and what we have to offer you. You're going to be impressed.
Absolutely. We are super excited and grateful that you guys are tuning in today. So we are just going to go ahead and dive right in. What does being relentless mean to us? Why becoming relentless? Why are we doing this podcast?
We just want to help y'all out. We want y'all to grow as much as we grow. Our community here with Team Mahaley and just who we're around, we're constantly growing and pushing each other. So we're like, how can we get the people that follow us and the people that support us and just tune in to grow as much as we do? We want to help impact y'all and take y'all to another level every time you listen to our podcast. So I hope y'all are ready to do that. You're going to leave us in our podcast feeling even more relentless than you came.
Yes, I love that.
It's going to be good. So today we're just going to talk about prep's do's and don'ts. So we're going to help y'all kind of get into that. What does prep mean? What does it require out of you? And all of that jazz.
Yeah, so let's dive right in. So contest prep, should we start with the don'ts and then we can leave on a high note with the do's?
Let's leave with a positive.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
So I think for a lot of people, prep can be used sometimes to escape your life. You know, you're like, oh man, I don't like what I'm doing, so I'm just going to do a contest prep. I'm going to focus in on that. That is a big don't. You really don't want to use prep as a way to just slack off in other areas and like have something to focus in. And that's a huge one because I think even for me, like personally, I have done that where I'm not happy with how things are going in my life. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to prep because that gives me an excuse to focus on something and not fix other areas. And that was something I did back in like 2019 and it did not go well. So that's a big don't.
So one thing about prep is we give so much into like the actual prep. You grow so much, you're focused on your protocols, so you don't miss anything. And it's hard coming out of a prep to put that same energy and that same focus into everything that you do with your career, your relationships, everything. So prep teaches you how to do that. But if you can carry that same mindset to everything you do outside of prep, you're going to grow so much more. A lot of athletes put that energy only into prep and everything around their prep fails. And then they fail as a competitor. They hate bodybuilding. They don't succeed. They hate life. They have this negative energy. They think that like competing is like horrible. And that's how that's why competing gets such a bad reputation because they don't have the same mindset towards everything they do outside of prep. I think being a successful competitor takes that high mindset, that high level mindset and applying that everywhere.
Yeah, like not letting things go in other areas of your life. Like communicate with the people you're around and let them know what's up. Let them know how you're feeling. Don't let prep be an excuse to just kind of be a shitty person. Sorry. Just cussed. But yeah, don't let that be an excuse to be a shitty person. Like you still need to show up for yourself and for the people around you. I think that a lot of people kind of just cocoon up into a little hole and I get it. Prep's hard. You're not going to want to communicate. You're going to want to kind of shut yourself down. But if you let all the relationships in your life go and you put that to the side, you're going to come out of prep and you're going to be really sad when you realize that you sacrificed that much for that prep. Like there is sacrifice that comes with it, but there is a way to get through prep where you don't have to do that as well.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all, like Seth knows, like I was there. Like I've been there last year where I was like a shitty person, like a shitty friend, and I like shut down and like everything outside of prep didn't matter. And I get it. Like it's easy to go there and you feel like you're pushing yourself ahead by doing that, but you're actually holding yourself back because at the end of the day, having community throughout any journey, especially in competing, community matters. And that's how you're going to succeed more. That's how you're going to find your it factor. Cecily actually taught me that. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So like communicate with your people.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a big do. So definitely communicate. Like that is huge within like your community and everything. Bringing it to like a lighter side, like another prep don't would be like doing prep to lose weight.
Yeah.
I know like plenty of people. I think so there's like two facets to this because I used to be like very much in the camp of like, you don't do a prep unless you're serious about this sport and like competing because it's extreme. And I definitely understand people seeing it as like, oh, a bucket list thing. And I used to hate that. But now I can understand that. I just think if that is the only reason, so if you are entering a prep to lose 50 pounds because you want to be held accountable, that's not a good reason. And I don't think that that is valid to do a prep. Now, like if you've been on a fitness journey and you think that having a prep would help you take it to the next level and you've been working on your fitness and maybe you do need to lose like that 50 pounds, I think there's a little bit of leeway there. But for the most part, like I would say, do not do a prep just to lose weight. Like
I agree. Just because like where you're going to have to take your body to be where you need to be on stage isn't going to be healthy. You need to be a little bit more consistent and probably get in a better spot before you start that prep. I do think something that's super cool for people to do if they do want to like prep is doing those transformation challenges. Like maybe don't do an NPC show, but if you want to like transform your body and you want kind of like a prep scenario and see how it is, I think those transformation challenges are a great opportunity for those people.
I agree. Another thing is like we all have these athletes who think they're 20 weeks out when in reality you have to go through a cut, you have to go through a maintenance phase, and then you have to go through like reversing before you can actually start a prep to get your body fat in a great position to start a prep. So you can't just be going into prep and expect to step on stage. It does not work like that. There's levels to going into a prep, and especially with the mindset. If that's your mindset, you're not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some don'ts. And the mindset's really big. If you have to have a strong mindset towards cardio, towards protocols, towards eating. If you have a bad relationship with cardio, you're doing cardio to burn the calories that you ate the night before, that's not going to help. It's especially with eating too, like your relationship with food has to be on point. Food, you can't have emotions toward food during prep or before prep. You have to make sure your relationship with food is very healthy, and you view it as energy and not just let me eat so much here and let me burn it off tomorrow. That's a bad mindset.
Yeah, so I think having like a stable mindset is definitely key for starting a prep. I think some other scenarios where you wouldn't want to start prep would be also like if you're starting a new job, if you are moving. Yeah. Also like new big changes in your life. So like whether that's like having a baby or getting a dog, like those are like big responsibilities and big life changes that aren't predictable. And like prep is very much something that like you have to have that predictability. So if you are thinking about starting a prep, you need to make sure that you're looking at all the facets in your life. Are they stable?
Yeah, like, including financially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Financials are huge.
Yes. This is way more expensive than you think it's going to be.
And you don't want to do a budget prep. Like you don't want to be scrimping and cutting corners and trying to figure out how you're going to afford things in prep, especially like rent and bills and life circumstances come up. Like you need to make sure that financially you're set up so that even if something does arise, you're not going to be stressed because that is like a huge factor in your prep.
Yeah. I will say too, like if you can't afford a prep right now, totally cool. You can still work your way into going into a prep within your like physical, your body, your fitness. A lot of people think like I'm going to slack off and then when I have the financial stability to start a prep, then I'll like start being serious about it. You can be not without a coach. You can still be serious in the gym. Yeah, you can get ahead without having a coach. It would help to have a coach. It would help to have all these people to help you level up within competing. But if you're not in a financial place to do that, you can still build your way into being serious within a prep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've covered a lot of the don'ts.
Mhm.
What are some of our prep do's? What are things that we want to make sure we have in place?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know that you're ready to start a prep?
For one, being prepared, knowing what it's going to take. For one, like communication, like we talked about earlier, you have to be able to have the assertiveness to talk to the people around you, to communicate with them about what you're going through, the energy that you don't have during times that they might feel like, oh, she's like not pouring into our relationship, not pouring into our friendship. Just communicate with them. Like, I don't have energy. I like to hang out with you. Maybe we can grab coffee, or we can just take a walk so you can get your steps in, instead of going out to eat. Because I know, like, being around food all the time, like, dude, that's not going to help you. The more you're around food, the more you're going to think about food. So the more you can not see food, the better off you're going to be.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that another really big prep do is just kind of making sure that you are ready for everything that's going to come.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of making sure that you've set up all your variables and your lifestyle to already match what prep is going to be. I like to call it the prep before prep. I like to tell this to my athletes all the time. Like, when we're 40 weeks out, those first 20 weeks, so we have 20 weeks for like hardcore prep. The 20 weeks before that, that's the pre-prep. And that's when you're setting up your lifestyle to match and make sure that you are ready for all that is going to come in prep. So starting to wake up a little bit earlier, getting your steps in fasted instead of getting them done later. I think that if you can set your schedule up before prep gets really deep and hard, that's just going to set you up for more success later on.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, y'all who are listening, like 40 weeks, that's almost a year. So we're asking you to be ready, like lifestyle wise, for almost a full year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not counting like if you get sick, vacations, events. Like, we're saying, like, if you want to have a successful prep, 40 weeks is going to go into that. And like, obviously, like, the prep doesn't just end after the show. Like, you don't step on stage and then walk away from this lifestyle. So I think what Cecily's saying is like super important for you guys to really embed into yourselves. Like, are you living the lifestyle? Is your schedule and routine set up for success in this way? Or are you going to really struggle when the hammer drops for prep and then afterwards? Like, there is no going back to quote unquote normal. Like, this should be somewhat of your normal.
Yeah, I would agree.
And you're going to have a lot of growth throughout this process. It's I believe competing in the prep and the before prep is the most growth anyone can have. I do want to touch on the mentality aspect, because a lot of people think that they're the best ever, and then they step on stage and they realize that everyone else looks just as good. And it's like, there's a humble aspect. You should be confident in what you're bringing because you did the work to get there, but know that everyone else did the work as well. So use that as motivation to push harder, but use that as another tool to be humble and to know that you're going to bring your best. But there's so many other preps as well. So just keep pushing. And if whatever happens on show day, it's not the end of the world.
Right. So you're like not emotionally tied to the outcome. You're more, I think that there's a time and place for emotions, but it shouldn't be tied to your placing.
There's like a saying, and it's like, prep for the physique that you're working towards and not the actual date. And that because there's oftentimes you have a show date and you might not make it. You might not hit that show date. Sassa's been there. She's the queen of it. But like, she's prepping for a physique that's going to wipe out everyone else. And that's why she's going to be so successful on stage. And that's why she's also going to go pro this year.
2 failed preps later down the drain, and we're still here. But I personally refuse to bring anything other than my best. So that's why we're here right now. But kind of touching on the mentality aspect. Yeah, the 2 failed preps, obviously that sucks, going towards the best physique possible. But I think that removing the emotion from your physique can also be something that's super helpful in prep. Kind of compete against yourself and your daily actions, not towards what you're looking at in the mirror. So put the eyes and the worry and the stress about the physique on your coach. If you can remove your emotion from that, that's going to make your stress lower and ultimately make your prep more successful as well.
That's huge. Like for our athletes, we don't want our athletes stressing.
Yeah.
We're supposed to stress, if anything.
Yeah.
We'll take the worry, but trust us, like when we give you protocols, we know the protocols are going to work. Trust the protocols, follow them. There's no room to you have a plan in front of you. That's your plan. Follow that plan and it's going to take you towards success.
Which I think that this also kind of plays into another have a coach.
Right.
And
Opposing coach too.
And opposing coach and a coach that you've been with for at least for a while. I personally think that being with a coach for close to a year is best before heading into a prep, just because then they're able to understand your body, understand you. You guys have your communication pattern set up and you're ready to roll instead of kind of them playing guesswork throughout your entire prep.
Yeah. I think there's a common like saying within the industry too, like as far as having a coach, like them learning your body, you don't want to coach hop. I've heard that a lot. Competitors, I know that it's difficult to like choose a coach, especially because there are so many of us. There's so many great ones and there's also so many not so great ones. But obviously, if you're listening to this, I think you know which one, which are the great ones. But having a coach who understands your body comes through time.
Yep.
And you might be with a coach and not be successful your first time on stage, but that doesn't mean that it's yours or the coach's fault. Like the coach might just be still learning how to troubleshoot your body. So like Cecily was saying, I truly also believe that being with somebody for a year so that they can fully understand the way that your body works and like you guys can troubleshoot different things and like figure out the best way to make you look your best is super, super important. So if you can afford a coach, you should hire one as soon as you think you want to compete, 100%. I think that if you can't afford a coach, even just reaching out and speaking with some of us, some of the coaches who you know their stuff, we're more than happy to help guide you and get you started, get the ball rolling. I just think that some people hold themselves back like, oh, I can't afford one, like I can't get started now. Don't let yourself get in your own way. Like speak to the coaches. We are all interested in helping you be the best version of yourself that you can be. So we're more than happy to help.
Yeah, I agree. And I will say, especially Team Haley content, we put out so much knowledge, like from posing to coaching to preps to bodybuilding to any goal. We put out so much for y'all to learn. So if you can just listen to our videos or even other coaches' videos, there's so much to learn and just take to improve in your physique, your journey. So stay locked in on those things and you're still going to improve even if you don't have a coach. But hiring a coach is the first step you should ever take.
Yeah. And then from there, hiring a posing coach, which I'm sitting next to two really amazing posing coaches.
Thank you.
But getting into that as well, hire a posing coach and then practice your posing.
Big time. Yeah. If for any posing coach that's listening to this, like have your athletes send you videos. But if you don't have a posing coach, take as many videos as you can because videos, just like in training, that's where you improve. That's where you see how your fluidity is going, everything like that. So posing and taking vids is the next step for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think that we covered a lot of the prep do's and don'ts. Is there anything that y'all want to touch on? Should we summarize it? Give everybody like a bullet list? Yeah.
A bullet list. Let's do it.
Cool.
Let's do it.
So for prep don'ts, I think we touched on a lot. We don't want you to just jump in cold turkey with no like lifestyle routine set up. We don't want you to start a prep if your goal is just to lose weight. We don't recommend starting a prep if you're unstable in any way or you have any big life changes coming. And then we don't want you to start a prep if you're going to use it to escape other areas of your life or use it to slack off in improving in other areas of your life. But some big prep do's: hire a coach, hire a posing coach, make sure that you have a consistent schedule set up, make sure that, what else? You're communicating with your
mindset's
your people,
good.
your mindset is
Your
good mentally.
relationships, with people and food.
And that you're ready to be locked in for a long time.
Absolutely. The time.
Yeah.
You're committed to this.
Committed.
And as much as it takes it's a mindset change to put yourself from one place into a prep like mindset, but it's also going to help your mindset for life. So it's a big growth commitment. Yeah.
I agree. There's a lot that you can learn in a prep, and just putting yourself in the best position to execute one, I think, is just so key.
Yeah. And being ready for that growth mindset as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Well,
Thank you guys
Yeah.
for tuning
Tuning in.
in. This was Prep Do's and Don'ts, and we'll be back with another episode here soon.
Yes, stay tuned. You're going to leave this podcast, like I said, feeling as relentless or more than you came. We're very excited for you to just keep growing with us.
I hope y'all really enjoyed the podcast today, leaving it feeling more relentless than ever. But we have a few things that we would love to ask of you, so I'm going to give this over to Noah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you could, I know that this is your new favorite podcast. Please leave a 5-star rating and review. Leave any comments and questions below. And make sure that you're sharing across social media so that all of your friends get to listen to the greatest podcast on earth.
And if you have any questions about any topics that we talk about or anything at all, fitness, competing related, anything, we'll hit you back up, Instagram or in the podcast under, if the comment box is there, then we will definitely answer your questions and help you out as best as we can.
But we do have a little incentive that we would love to share with y'all. If you do leave us a 5-star rating and review and then send a screenshot to any of us via Instagram, we'll leave that in the comment section here for y'all. But we're going to start a raffle where 3 people in the first month here, if you leave that 5-star rating and review and DM it to us, you're going to be entered into a raffle to earn a spot on the Team Haley team with the 3 of us.
Yep.
So we'll each be taking 1 new athlete this month, and you'll get a free month of coaching from that.
Full-on coaching.
3 month of full-on coaching.
Full services, everything that you need to improve, and I promise you will not be let down. You will see major progress.
Absolutely. So leave those 5-star reviews. Let us know, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Have a relentless day.
Bye.
Time keeps moving.